Hello there, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sal,
I'm Matt.
and today we're reviewing,
American Gods.
what could be the season finale.
It is the
Uh,
season.
See, I was always umming and ahhing whether it is or not, because I mean,
It
it was
is.
it was there to see. Yeah, I guess I know that now. It's interesting. Yeah, this episode's called "Come to Jesus," and really, what it was is because it's based on a book, right? So I
Yep.
mean, if you kind of flick through the Wikipedia page on the book, you can kind of see like where they might struggle to go in the series. So I mean, I guess it's quite good that they kind of ended this season here before anything really happened. Because really, if they had the war or whatever in this episode, then they've got nowhere to go from there.
hmm
They've literally, so I guess I had to pace the season.
Yeah, because it's not like Game of Thrones where it's a series, is it? American Gods is one book,
Mm.
so presumably at some point they're going to have to go past it if they want the show to continue.
Well, season 3. After this, I mean, are they really going to spend the whole of this building up to the war again? I mean, I guess it's good. I mean, if they run it 8 episodes, but really, like, I guess after this, you'd kind of be expecting some sort of thing to pop up. So, I know you had strong opinions about the start. Feel free.
No, no, I didn't have overly strong opinions. I mean, I get what they were going for. It's interesting when they do this. So the god, what's their name?
Bilquis.
Which is the same god we've seen earlier in the season, right?
Yeah, as you can remember from the first episode when.
Right. So I don't know what mythology it's based on, but essentially she seems like the embodiment of feminism, and it's a difficult one, is it? Like how do you do it without seeming overly preachy?
Well, if you take away feminine, take like imagine that the word feminist don't exist. She's just a powerful woman, a seductive woman, who like really the kind of first like female god that had it down. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of guys that were like, "Yo, I want this power for myself." A lot of women who aspired to be her, and really it didn't happen. And then eventually she kind of was forgotten about, and then she kind of, yeah.
Your sound didn't do great.
Say that again.
There you go.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I guess the way you do it is you do what they did. You have some guy tell the story, right? So it was his version of events. And why did she end up sleeping rough on the street then? Is it because people forgot who she was?
Yeah, because you can like she wasn't hustling in the same way as, and you could tell she was starting to get a little blotchy. She wasn't as fresh as she used to be. So yeah, and then I guess she just like, you know, she wasn't getting carnal. People weren't worshipping her, so she eventually lost her influence and powers to the point of dejection, and that's when a technology guy comes along and is like, "Yo, I'll hook you up." You know what I mean? Embrace the new ways and get your followers back, because you can remember, like just before, she was kind of all over the place, and she looks and watches the TV, and like her temple's getting ripped down, and that was the proverbial final nail in the coffin, as it were.
That opening orgy thing, that was a
Hot.
sight.
You
Yeah.
you enjoyed it?
No, not really, but it was interesting to watch. The cinematography was good.
Yeah. You could say that. So yeah, we had that going on, and really that was like the pretense of, yo, you've got to get yourself a woman, a queen, as it were, to stand at your side. And really, his options are a little iffy, because the kind of, I guess, when it comes to female old gods, really, you've got her who's MIA. I mean, he didn't really, he hasn't she's not in the radar, as it were, in a way. So yeah, so it's like second best. Well, I mean, first option is like, let's go see Easter, who we kind of had a flexing of last episode. So they go to there, and there's a bunch of Jesuses there, and it's like, yo, he kind of lies about Vulcan, saying that the new gods did him in when really it was him, and he's like sitting there. What?
Nothing.
So what did you think of that? You nod in your head you got a problem with Jesus.
I mean, no, I thought it was quite funny. I liked the fact there was always Jesus there, and she was peeved, even though she wouldn't say it, that her day has kind of been hijacked by Jesus. And
same as Saint Nicholas as well, because it was like, look, you made the same deal as Saint Nick.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised by anything, but why were there so many Jesuses?
Well, they said they're different.
I get that, but how many different races are there on Earth? Are there really that many?
No, not races, just people from different backgrounds.
As in what then?
I don't know. There was a fresh-looking Jesus in a suit. There was a Indian Jesus. Like, generally, Christianity is not just for white people. There's a lot. There's a lot.
I know that, but I'm not.
There's a lot of people in the different regions of Africa.
Of course there are, but
Australian Jesus.
Why would there be an Australian Jesus?
Asian Jesus. Because it's like, if you're Australian,
yeah,
and you're Christian and you're praying to Jesus, are you gonna see the same kind of Jesus as like if an African person closed their eyes and prayed to Jesus? No, because it's like how you perceive them. You'd think, oh,
he's from Jerusalem.
You'd think black Jesus. Yeah, but a lot of people think that like Jesus is white.
What? Well, that's stupid. Why would he be white?
It's like when you go into church and you see pictures of Jesus and there's like white. And it's just like, why have they painted a picture of because it's like murals on the wall, and it's like, why have they actually actively gone out and painted like a white Jesus on their wall? There we go. There's your answer right there. I've explained it for you. So yeah, the fresh Jesus looked pretty cool, and then there's kind of how we'd perceive Jesus, who was like Shadow was talking to about belief. You also had the leprechaun and the dead wife turn up. And it kind of comes to Easter can't help her because she's killed by a god, and then it's kind of revealed like everything's fate leading up to Shadow being in the employ of Mr. Wednesday.
So the leprechaun's not a god?
Nah.
That confuses me.
He's just a powerful guy.
What was that episode about then?
I know, he's just a powerful guy.
Why are you praying to a powerful guy? Why does that work? That makes no sense to me.
Look, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't write the book, and I don't produce the TV show.
Fair enough, but that makes no sense.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit. I'll admit, I thought that was a bit ropey, because it's like, what do they class him as then? Like a fairy?
I guess demigod. I mean, it does seem to be something. I guess he's in servitude of a god, but why is a leprechaun working for Odin?
Don't know. Maybe you just came across him. So yeah, you had that. Yeah, you had Easter flexing. You had media turn up again.
Who was she meant to be this time?
Just a woman.
What, just what's her face from the X-Files?
Guess so. Maybe she was meant to be Jane Eyre or something.
I don't know who it is.
I don't know, some period woman.
Okay.
So yeah, and you kind of had again, you had bit like, yeah. So he was vexing Easter. Odin was like, yo, just take away the harvest, and then they're gonna have no choice but to pray to you. Problem solved. Shadow was like, look, what do I believe in with Jesus? You had that. Then there was a little confrontation, and Odin came out. There was like with this war thing, and then it was like, look, Mr. World was fronting, And then he was like, look, I dedicate these deaths to you, Easter. So he was obviously being very charming, very beguiling towards her. And then a thunderstrike comes down, and then he underwhelmingly, it was overhyped and underwhelming. It was like, my name's Odin. I was like, oh, Odin.
It's just, it's just a bit overall, isn't it? It's a bit overly dramatic.
I was expecting him to change form.
I don't get why he was shouting.
I don't know, maybe it was like a hyping thing. It's like everyone there knew who he was. I guess it was for the viewers to be like, oh, but really it's like, oh, Odin.
I just think, for me, maybe less is more.
Yeah.
I think the moment would have worked better if he just done the lightning strike and they said, I'm Odin. Job done. Like, you don't need the big shouting, you don't need to mention all his damn names.
Classy.
Yes, say he's the All Father. We recognise that from the Marvel movies, if we're being honest. Say he's Odin. Job done.
I'm not a poser, so I know he's the All Father without watching the bad Marvel films. DC's better. So yeah, he mullers them, and then you got Mr. World like kind of phasing in and out of the faceless thing. Like, okay, then it looks like it's war, yo, and then Easter, like with that added belief, is just like, you want to know what, that feels good. Takes away the harvest, and everything goes dark. And then Shadow's look, I believe, and everything like that. So I guess Odin gets a little power from that. And then to kind of wreck everything, Laura's like on the balcony, like, look, I need to talk to you. And then we had a shot of Bilquis going wherever she's going again. Like, is she like the rat? Is she going to end up being a rat or something? It's like, who really cares?
That seemed weird to me. Why are we ending with her?
I know.
Yeah, we've barely seen her throughout the season. We've just had that, whether it worked to you or not, we just had this big reveal about Odin, and Shadow is the main character. That should be the end of the season, not Bilquis, a character we barely know.
Maybe she's going to be big in season 2.
Well, she might be, but it seems like an odd end. It's like if you're going to put a stinger on you and make it some big reveal, not the fact that she's off to some other town.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good episode, not the best.
I thought it was solid. I like the Jesus bits. Let's talk numbers.
I'm gonna go with 7.5. I thought, I thought the Jesus thing was funny. I liked the fact the light was always behind him when he was sat in the water and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool. I like the way the season's gone. This might be the least interested I've been in the stinger at the beginning of the episode with the guard and whatnot. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good season.
I'll agree with you. I'll probably hit the same number, 7.5. I mean, really, I was sitting there worried, thinking, right, after this, where are they going to go from there? So yeah, is it to be honest, is it really just going to be like, look, they're going to have their war, and then it finishes after 2 seasons? But if they carry it on, where does it go from there?
Above carry it on, they can still drag the war out for a couple of years. It's like, I think Showtime, if I remember right, I could be wrong, if I remember right, Showtime's the same network that did Dexter. They dragged that crap out for about 8 years. So
yeah, they just brought in a different serial killer every season.
Exactly. So they're going to keep on going forward with new gods and whatnot. They'll probably have to move away from the book at some point, and I think they'll make the book last as long as they can, and then they'll move on from there.
Yeah, I figure if the guy who wrote it's an executive producer, I guess he's got a vision for it. So yeah.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Oh, you know the author of the book, 10 points. And we'll see.
I've got the book.
We'll see you next season. How much have you read of it? Tell the viewers how much you've read.
2 chapters.
Okay. We'll see you in the next one.